Gentlemen, gentle people, how you doing today? We're gonna go live. We're gonna wait for a little bit. Folks should be able to come in. There we go. At the ballpark today, I have a baseball game that starts in about 3 hours, and I figured while I had the time, I'd go live. Hey, folks. Checking my phone here real quick. So, how's everybody doing today? Please, no spoilers. I haven't watched the F1 race yet. Hey, John, the fingers. How you doing this morning or afternoon? Sorry. I am at the ballpark. Like I said, if you just joined, and plenty of people are now, I'm at the. I got a game at 5 o'clock, so I really only have about 45 minutes or so. But I figured I'd go live. I will carry the laptop out and show you guys what it looks like. Hey, Gareth. Hey, Mac. How you guys doing? So what did we have on Friday? We had all kinds of news. We have some Black Arrow stuff. I really don't like the way Facebook does the algorithm in what they show you, because I hadn't seen the Black Arrow kits until the other day. I hadn't seen, there's a couple different Black Arrow DB9s set, kit cars. I hadn't seen any of that. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Yam. Oh, Yamaha. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, I was a little disappointed to see that those Black Arrow cars, the info on them. Hey, Canyon. Good morning. Good afternoon here in PA. That the Black Arrow cars hadn't been more widely shown. They look really nice. And, it's kind of a typical pro kit. So, you're going to get it's like a slot or an NSR kind of a car out of it when you're done, or scale auto, something like that. But they look really nice. And I like the older Ferraris. I like the 360 Modena was a personal favorite of mine that SCX had made. And, well, a bunch of people had made it. Pro Slot made one. I actually have several of the Pro Slot ones. They're garbage to start out with. But you can make really fast cars out of the pro slot cars. Yeah, it was cool to see those, and always good to see the Sideways. Sideways really, they're absolutely bringing it with the Group 5, Group 4 stuff. You can't go wrong with the Sideways cars. I'm not a huge fan of the kind of slim boxer motor that they have in there, but whatever. You can always change it if it really means that much. But the bodies are just luscious. There's amazing Escorts. Yeah, exactly. The bodies are just amazing. Every single Sideways is like absolutely gorgeous car. Absolutely worth buying. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cars. And they're just, the detail on them is fantastic. They run really well. I had hoped, unstable connection. Where am I? Office ballpark. Yeah. If the connection is a little screwy today, guys, sorry. The Wi-Fi here at the ballpark is not great. Very not great. Let me know if I disappear. I promise. I'm trying to be here. Yeah. So the Sideways cars, I had hoped years ago that Slot It would do Group 5 cars, not just the Group C stuff. And unfortunately, they haven't. I would have thought it would have made a great complement to the Group C cars that Slotted had done. And it's just it's a natural that Slotted I would have thought would have wanted to do the Group 5 stuff. just, I mean, they ran on the same track together in some cases. They're from about the same period in time. They're from earlier time enough. They're sufficiently old that you probably won't have any you won't have any licensing issues, because a lot of companies just don't enforce a license when you're going back that old. So, usually you probably won't have an issue then. Um, but yeah, I don't know. And they have a long can motor that they're coming out with, uh, another long can motor. 320 grams of torque is an awful lot of torque. Not really a fan of motors that are that torquey, but a lot of people are, not me. I like the Mabuchi motors, and pretty much nothing above about a 23,000 Mabuchi motor. Um, what else? The fact that, and John Grizzle mentioned this in the comments, the fact that there are cars shipping at all, frankly, is news. Because I had mentioned in my video the previous week that there really wasn't much news. Well, the fact that there are things to ship means that that's a pretty interesting news item right there. Um, and SCX is showing a new, I think it's an Audi. You're welcome to go to their Facebook page. There's a new Audi Rally Car that they're showing, or a Rally Cross car, I believe, that they're showing, and a new compact set that they're showing. Uh, what else are they showing? That was it. Well, the compact set, their 1/43rd scale cars evidently have lights, which that's pretty cool. The odd thing is they've gone. Hey, Frank, thank you very much for coming by to hang out. Um, the odd thing is that they've decided to go with loops. Uh, it's common misconception in the business that loops and slot car sets are a great thing and kids love them. Well, they love to look at a track that has loops, but their tracks with loops are absolutely just about impossible to drive for kids, especially. Um, I don't know if it's kids in the U.S. get more frustrated more quickly than kids overseas, but the fact that they're doing a set with loops, I just hope they show in the instructions. Um, Racing Group 5 today, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. Oh, very cool, Steven. Awesome. Good luck, man. Love the Group 5 stuff. That's probably my favorite class of cars. Yes, even more than like Trans Am stuff. The Group 5 stuff is just, I mean, it's the coolest stuff as far as I'm concerned. Um, Player or two starting to wander out. They're still watering down the field. Here, I'll show you guys. They're still watering down the field. Game's going to be, ground screw. And then there's a couple guys coming out now. Very pretty view. It's a nice day today. I know you all don't come here for baseball content, but such is my life, it's pretty awesome. I love shooting baseball. Um, I love shooting sports in general, but baseball is absolutely amazing. Um, and the team give me, absolutely the best access I've ever had in my life to shoot. So it's absolutely stunning to me that they allow me to do it. So what else do we have on Friday? Well, I'll just look. How about that? Instead of being lazy, I will just look. The Black Arrow stuff, I went over that. The 919. Yeah, so I did get a sample of the hey, Slugger Man Cave, man. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. I did get a sample, actually 3 samples of cars from SRC. I wasn't I mean, I did ask them for a couple samples of cars. I wasn't expecting, I was expecting maybe just to get the LMP Toyota kit, and they sent me two. They sent me one LMP kit, and then they also sent me two Vantage F1 cars. They look absolutely just stunning. Um, Sorry, I don't have them here with me at the ballpark, but the cars look just amazing. I mean, the detail on them is just staggering. Like a lot of releases now, the detail on cars now is just, I mean, it just can't be any better, frankly. It never has been this good on slot cars. Molding technology, definitely getting better every year. um, so while we're sitting here talking, this is gonna be a little shorter stream. I'll probably only be able to do about a half an hour. Then I will really want to get out and start taking some pictures because we got some nice light. And like I said, it's a day game, or well, it's an evening game. It's 5:05 start, so I do need to get to work before too much longer. Anybody have any questions? Let me know. Someone had a question about uh, digital products and if there have been any uh, kind of refills or if there's still an issue with digital stuff because of the production in China being an issue. As far as I know, yes. I have no reason to believe that anytime soon any of this is going to be fixed because, I mean, I've been told by several people who are smaller manufacturers, but they've said, this is going to continue for the rest of this year, definitely, and early into next year that we're going to have just massive shortages on microprocessors, which is really going to limit any digital products being released. It's going to limit, in fact, probably a fair amount of sets from being released, because if there's any, anything that needs to go in the sets, any microprocessors that needs to go in any of the sets for any kind of electronics, the stuff just isn't there. It's just not available to the manufacturers. So I do expect that I mean, a lot of companies are really short on cars. I know Carrera is. I believe Skelectric is. I've heard that from a couple dealers. Not like I'm, telling stories out of school here. I've heard that from a couple dealers that the major manufacturers inventories here in the U.S. are quite low of certain things that are in high demand. I know Slottit's had parts issues. I've heard this from a number of my friends who are dealers that they just can't get Slottit parts. So there's really shortage pretty much all the way around, which is unfortunate because it's unfortunate for Slottit. It's not unfortunate for dealers that carry Scale Auto stuff, that carry NSR parts, because those parts for slot cars, gears and motors and things like that. Any precision parts, tires, I believe, too, are in fairly short supply. Anything is going to be fairly low quantity for the rest of this year and into next. As far as I know, I'll be happy to, say that I'm wrong if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's just disappointing that in a time when people are home doing hobbies, still there's a lot of people that are out doing normal things like me. We're not we don't have any like lockdowns here in PA yet. We've experienced a shortage here in South Africa where there are imports as well. Yeah, Ron, I'm sure it's pretty typical. I mean, this is happening all over the place. And certainly in smaller slot car markets. I mean, I would assume I don't really know much about South African market, but I would assume that it's not a very big market. So people it's going to be a lot tighter on products being released into that market. So yeah, I'm not really surprised. So what else was I going to talk about? I was looking at my pictures from the other night. Yeah, 919 is being shown. Liveries on that are being shown. Okay, so the drift set. This is an interesting thing that Skylectric have decided to re-release their drift set, or re-release sets that. Yes, Charles. Very simple. I don't do HO. Um, I don't I don't I played with HO when I was a kid and I loved it. But I don't have really any contacts um, in the HO market that I could really get a lot of news for. It's not something I do personally, so it's just, and I don't like to talk about topics where I have no personal investment. You know, if I'm not doing a scale, I don't want to talk about it if I think something, you know, I don't know if things are new. I don't know if things are old. I don't know if something is a new design. I don't know. You know, it's there's too many unknowns for me, and I don't want to give incorrect information. That's I never. I mean, I make mistakes all the time, you know, but I don't want to give incorrect information about a new release and say, hey, this is the first time this mold's been released or something, you know. So it's not that I don't think it's a cool part of the hobby, but I just don't have a connection to it. So I don't feel like I could do it justice, and I don't want to do it poorly just for the sake of doing it. So that's it. No other reason than that, Charles. Um, yes, Slot Man Cave. That's what I've heard as well. That so parts in general, it had always been an issue for Carrera when I worked there. Skylectric 2 and SCX 2. I mean, parts are always an issue. So if you have China has an export issue caused by the pandemic, they do, but the main issue is, I mean, Carrera doesn't make a lot of parts, especially that they import into the U.S. and Canada. U.S. and Canada are the same thing. So I same thing. They're not the same thing. I mean, they come from the same distribution. So uh, parts have always been an issue, right? Um, Parts just don't sell. The problem is there's too many different kinds of parts available for different decorations on cars. So if you have four different Corvettes that have been released, let's say four different C7 Corvettes, right? And in theory, they may have different colored little bits on them, like the wing might be a little different on each one of them, might be a different sponsor decoration on the wing, or on the tires they might have, although probably they're all Michelin tires, they might have a slightly different design to them. uh, so importing parts has frankly always been an issue that has nothing to do with China. Yes, I'm sure that there is some issue now because of production in China. I'm not saying that there isn't, but for sure, their parts are not high priority. I've talked about this quite a bit on my videos. Companies just tend not to stock parts, especially here in the U.S. Now, Skylectric will stock parts in their warehouse in England because it's considerably larger market, but they just don't bring them into the US. And in fact, parts are a special order from dealers. Any US dealer can order parts as a special order directly from the UK through RB America, but they have to do a certain quantity of parts, like, it has to be a certain order size to ship it. And it takes a few months to get it here. But so like for Carrera, for example, they just don't make a lot of parts. SCX doesn't make parts and really never has. When Carrera, like our man cave says, when Carrera finally does land, back order finally does land, it'll be a busy fall season. Yes, absolutely. Um, if it does land, you never know uh, what is coming. If things, especially this year, things have been canceled. A lot of things have been delayed because of the pandemic and because of processor orders, the digital stuff. Soccer Man Cave said we were told that 11 containers are of Carrera are waiting for export. I mean that could very well be. Hey Sean, race home from our fruit farm to catch the show. All right, Sean. Thank you very much for showing up. I'm going to stream probably for about another 15 or so minutes. I don't really want to bug the other folks in the press box here too much. The one of the announcer dudes is here, and one of the grounds crew guys is here. So I don't really want to, don't really want to bother them too much here. So that's why I got my voice down a little bit. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Um, yes, so that's a lot of containers. Probably there's been a backup of stuff that could ship because getting containers is difficult. Containers have been profoundly expensive. Prices to rent a container just to ship, just for the box to put the stuff in, have gone up at least 3 to 4 times. So a container that may have cost $1,800 or $3,000 to rent has gone up to at least 8,000, 9,000, maybe as high as $12,000. Um, I have a lot of friends in the industry that have been telling me, different very high numbers. But safe to say, it's a lot for just renting the box to put the stuff in to get it here. Hey Charles, yeah. It's I'm a team photographer for minor league baseball team. It's a Major League Baseball draft league is the league, and it's a Williamsport Crosscutters are one of the older franchises, or I should say the stadium is one of the oldest stadiums in the U.S. actually. Uh, no, I saw Carman Cave. He says I'm not hating on China. FYI, everyone is trying to keep up. I or I agree. I'm not hating on China either. Absolutely not. I don't think there's any point in that. We live in a global economy, especially if you're in the slot car business. I would personally love, yes, if there were American companies that were made here in the U.S. There just aren't. It's a fact of life. I'm absolutely not hating on China. I don't do that here. It makes no sense because everything is made in China. It's not desirable, but that's just the way it is. I was going to talk about the Scale Electric Drift set. I like the idea that they've started to release a set that has some more different kind of features in it. Um, I think it's really great that they've decided to do this because just releasing a new set each year with different cars in it that might have a slightly different layout, it's really kind of more of the same, and that's not going to get us anywhere. That's not going to get a hobby anywhere if all we're seeing year after year after year is just a rehash set of, a set with about 18 feet of track in it, two different cars, a blue one and a pink one, or a red one and a green one, or whatever. You know, Slot Car Man Cave. No, man, you don't have to apologize for that. It's fine. I always love to get more industry news and opinions about this stuff. This is you feel free to comment, please, and please don't apologize. This is just a free form discussion, obviously, off the cuff. Um, but yeah, so the fact that Skelectric is doing this different set, now I know that it's a figure eight set that just has the internal bits in the cars that are different. I don't care. The fact that it has this different idea to it, that it's a totally different play pattern than just going racing in one direction and then changing the different pieces that are in the track. This is an entirely different play pattern. That's what you have to think of. Well, you don't have to, but that's how I think of this stuff when I look at a set, and when I've designed sets in the past. Um, is I've tried to do something. Well, it's really hard to say that. It's just great. Let's just say that it's just great that Skelectric has done this to do a set that has this different kind of play pattern with it. Now, obviously, home sets, starter sets are not made for folks like the majority of us here in the stream, right? They're made for uh, kids. They're made for people just getting into the hobby. They're made as gifts, which all of that is, that's good stuff. So the fact that, a 360 drift Mustang that's going to spin around, isn't exactly what we want as hobbyists, doesn't matter. This is not aimed at us. This should be drift sets are a great laugh. Yeah, I mean, whatever. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be toys. That's the whole thing here. It's supposed to be a good time for kids, and if you can get them into the hobby and keep them in the hobby, you've already won. That's just it's they need to do more of this, right? Um, they need to do sets that have some kind of feature. I'm not talking about just loops. That's not a feature. That's just like a track piece. Something with some different kind of play pattern in it. Like, I don't know. It was a city themed set that SCX did that had like a gantry that went over the top. This was an analog set. It had gray track. This was from years ago. This was the original SCX stuff from, oh God, 2008, 2009, 2010, something like that. Um, and it had gray track, and it had little sidewalks as the borders on it, and it had like a gantry that went over it, and you plugged in an MP3 player, and you could play music through the thing. There were little speakers in the top, and the idea was that it was like a street racing set. That was like that was the most revolutionary set to come out for a long time now, and it's like it came in and out. It just disappeared. Well, why not do more of that kind of theme set? It doesn't cost much to make different colored track, but then you get incompatibility with track color, and that really winds people up. Oh, I want the gray track, or oh, I want the black track. If you're making the other color track, that does make problems. But I love the idea of there being a speaker in the set so you can listen to music, and it's part of the set, right? It's integral to the set. It's not just a Bluetooth speaker that you set alongside the track. It's like it was like a gantry, like a stoplight over the track set. Um, Stuff like that, it's like it's easy to say, oh, they should have sets that have different kinds of features in them, and really hard when you're actually, sitting doing set design. It's really hard to think up. Okay, well, what the hell does that actually mean? It's way easier just to sit here from the press box in my second job. Little old me just deciding that, oh yeah, they should do this or that. Well, they should probably spend a little more time thinking about what they could do with the set, and that would probably help. Sean KCS, why have you not promoted the Polycar system yet? Would be nice to see. Why have I not promoted it? Would be nice to see us move away from Skelectric and Carrera tracks as standard. Well, I've done unboxings of the set. I've shown the set. Just about every picture I take of slot cars is on Polycar track, and it has been for more than a year. Uh, I I've done a video about what to expect if you buy a set, where I talk about the fact that I think Polycar is a better value because it's a wider track that also has a tighter standard radius than Carrera, so it gives you better track options. Hello, Kevin, the other half of Canyon Slots. Cheers, guys. Hello, Brian. Hello, the Josephs. Thank you very much for stopping by, everybody. Really appreciate it. Probably going to go for about another 15 minutes here, and then I got to wrap it up because I got to start working. So, yes, I do need to do more. I will be putting up. Okay, so I will be putting up a Polycar track. I'm not going yet to fingers. I would be putting up a Polycar track at my house. I'm going to be doing it this fall. Uh, I need to clean off the table that I'm going to put the track on. I need to I may paint the table. No, I'm not going to paint the table. What am I saying? Um, I need to get everything squared away. So I will be putting up a polycar track, a 2-lane polycar track. Does polycar have features coming? So so Sean asks, does polycar track have new features coming? I see you show the track, not features like oxygen and digital Carrera. Um, so the track I have is an analog track. I don't have oxygen anything. Um, I most of the racing I do, I mean, all of the racing I do with my club is analog. It's 100% analog. That doesn't mean I couldn't have digital at my house. If I did have oxygen, I would have to chip everything. If I wanted to do a track at my house, a small test track at my house, um, everything that I got then would have to be uh, digital. I guess I could switch it back to analog. It's not something I really feel like getting involved in. I also don't really want to ask Skylectric USA for the digital parts. I'm not going to be able to buy all the stuff that I would need. Um, I I don't have that kind of money to devote to the hobby at the time. You know, I'm working a second job, so it's just not. Digital does add quite a bit of cost, and it's just not something I can do at the moment. I can put up a nice analog track, and that's what I will do. I don't know if they have any features coming. I would think of the Polycar system, as more of like a straightforward system, where meaning it's like a base system to do analog racing on, or to do some digital racing. But Mauricio's not really into like features in the way that Carrera and Skylectric might be into. Slot Car News Cup, is there a banner? Um, there's no Slot Car News Cup. We could have a proxy race maybe at some point. It probably would be a Porsche Cup race. Probably doing NSR Porsche Cup. I don't know. I don't know. We'd see. Have to see. Um, so the way I would think of Polycar, like I said, is it's like a base set or base track system or analog racing, maybe for some digital racing, but basically it's a basis for pretty much hardcore analog racing, um, and then a basis for their oxygen system. I would not think of it. They're gonna expand to all different kinds of crazy track pieces. Maurizio did a whole bunch of track pieces all at one time, and he did all of the toolings for the system basically all at one time, which is it's fairly expensive, very time consuming, and really until the system catches on, I don't see them going kind of far afield and doing more different kind of niche track pieces. Just having the track so it can go at least 8 lanes wide, that kind of thing. Coffee cup. There you go, the coffee cup. That's funny. Yeah. Um, I would think that they're going to stick with fairly standard kinds of track pieces, and that's fine. I mean, they're basically trying to get into the market. I am personally fully behind the Polycar track. It is the only track that I would suggest people buy. Not to say that the other track systems are bad, they're absolutely not. But if you're starting from nothing, you go with Polycar. It's nearly as wide as Carrera, which means quite a bit, because having a nice little wide basis for track system is important. It's got a tighter radius than Carrera. It's cheaper than Carrera. It's got it's got a very grippy surface, which means that standard tires are going to fit. They're going to stick to it. That's important because I don't like the idea of someone having to buy a car to get into the system to start the hobby and then having to buy parts just to race with immediately after, because it's like, who wants to hear, oh, you just bought a $60 car, you need to replace everything on it. Hello, Mikey. um, so I think it's the best track system as far as I'm concerned, and let there be no doubt where my own personal opinions lie. It's all the track systems are fine, but personally, I think there's more unique features to Polycar that make it the best system you can buy. That's my own personal opinion. Um, so yeah, let me see if there are any questions here that I missed. Hello, Sandy. Thank you very much for stopping by. There is a fine line between unique race sets and incompatible with everything. Everything set. Yes. Um, love you being late today. Thank you very much. I didn't know. Normally I do a little earlier on the Sunday stream just to kind of so I get most of the day off to relax. I play a lot of online games. World of Tanks is my main game, and yeah, so I just figured, while I'm at the park and I have the time because they're still wetting down the field, there's no batting practice, so I figured I'd go live. Um, I agree, Sandy. You're right. You need to have intercompatibility, absolutely. But I'm not really bothered by the going from one color track to another. Um, I would think that having more unique pieces. Skelectric used to have a lot of unique pieces, and I've been promising to do this, but I'll do this in a future video. Excuse me, where I'll talk about unique pieces of track like Goodwood Chicane, like the Le Mans Start, like the Hump Bridge, like the SCX analog and digital chicane with the little foam tires that they had done, the Rally Chrono box that SCX had done years ago. Um, Unique track pieces like that are sorely lacking in the hobby. The Rally Chrono system, if you want to see some pretty unique idea in the recent modern history of slot cars, look at the SCX Rally Chrono box set. Do a search for Rally Chrono CHRONO box set, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It was a one lane. It was a system where you could take a piece of track that had two sides to it, two lanes to it, and make that into one long one lane track because it was like a loop at each end, which would connect the both sides of the track to make one out and one back. And then there was a starter box, I guess you'd say, where you put your car on, and then there was a timing piece that you'd go by, and you'd be able to race. One person would be able to race alone, and it was a great idea. You could do testing that way. You could do a lot of things that way. This is the greatest track piece system that needs to be re-released, needs to be put back by somebody. It could be done by Polycar very easily. Have some kind of a system whereby you hook maybe even a smartphone up to a piece of track, and it could do timing. Yeah, the old hill climb loop, exactly. It's the same kind of a thing. So the idea, I mean, most people, unless you're lucky and you have your kids racing with you, most people, when they're at home, are just by themselves. So why not have an option of having a one lane track so someone can take advantage of both lanes on the track and have a very long one lane track, like against the wall? Like I used to have a track against the wall. It was Carrera. Um, or no, it was SCX. I tried to do it with Carrera, and it didn't really work too terribly well, but you can do it. To have a loop at each end, to have like a return loop, and you can have a really nice one lane track then. And I think I mean, what the hell do I know? I think it's an awesome idea. It would be cool if they made this again. Um, Guys, I've been on for about 40 minutes. I appreciate everyone that came by. Little shorter stream today, a little unexpected. I I appreciate everyone stopping by. Means quite a bit. And there's the buy me a coffee if you want to send me a tip. Tips are greatly appreciated. Of course, you don't have to. You don't have to feel like you have to. I'm just here to enjoy talking slots with folks. Um, John D says we had a hill climb dragster that made track. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it exactly. Um, so, guys, I really appreciate everyone stopping by. It really, I appreciate it. And see you all again soon.